entering in this yellow box, and I'm just going to put it right in the middle, understanding that your stop loss has to be above this 100, okay, because that was the last major wick area that we had right here. And I always add a few points because of your spread. And the goal is that maybe we can take it all the way back down to what we're talking about. Now, does this mean that you have to leave it open during the entire green section, which is almost a 5-to-1 risk to reward? Hey everyone, the professor here, and welcome to our crude oil daily analysis. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time on camera. Honestly, I'm dealing a little bit with a sore throat. I'm not feeling that great, but I also want to give you massive value. So you're not going to see my face. Let's go back into the analysis. First thing I want to kind of do is I want to kind of start with what happened and help people out on how to take trades. Those of you inside of our trading club, we took this trade. So what I want to do is I want to kind of go back to this section right here. I want to be able to help you out, and I want to go ahead and do the replay. Okay, and I want to kind of go to this section. Okay, because this is also going to help you out. And then at the end of this video, I'm going to be doing the exact same thing and giving you the analysis as well. So we had talked about if price was going to break above this 75.64 area, okay, for us to look for the break and retest. So I want to kind of do this slow so I can kind of show you where that trade would have taken place for you. Okay, so as we kind of begin the ticker here, we're going to see price begin to come up. Okay, now let me just pause it right here. At that point, if you notice right here, we begin to get our first price action starting to move across and over the red line for kind of our confirmation of price somewhere in this yellow box area. As we move a little forward, we begin to see price comes back down into that same area on multiple occasions. So it was giving you multiple opportunities to get in. Now, let me stop it right there. At this point, we can see here that we've had a nice price action towards the top. And if you look right over here, okay, we had talked about, especially, on a Friday, crude oil analysis with what's been going on in the market. Very important to kind of follow these rules. It's what I have been doing for a long time, where you're really looking for 20 points and then you're either cashing out or you are protecting your trade. So in this case, even from the most bottom area, right, we had seen 82-point movement up to the top side. That should have given you already your win with regards to crude oil. And then we were talking about let's focus on this top zone because we might see some rejection because we can clearly see here that that was definitely an area of previous support and also previous resistance as well. So as we continue here during our first few minutes of this video to learn from it, you can see that price came back up. And let me pause it again here. And again, it gave you multiple opportunities to come back into the zone and then multiple opportunities to cash out at the top of the zone. And again, how this would have looked like, because I've been getting that question a lot, how would you trade this? Well, you would trade this through a long position. Okay. And again, depending on where you got in, you would always really want to use the zero line, okay, as your stop loss. So you would trade this something like this. You would go here. Our target is to go back up to the top level here somewhere. And you always want to have the zero line as your stop loss. So that's the way this trade would have looked. It would have been about a 2.5 to 1 risk to reward ratio. Okay. Now, as we continue the leverage here, and then you can see what happens here. Now, we had this rejection up here. So if you were going to sell the rejection, which if you watched my video analysis, we've been talking about, crude oil definitely, I'll come on camera for a minute, definitely has been selling, right? The trend has been down. So we were not really looking for buys unless we were going to scalp. We were looking for more sell opportunities. And I'll be explaining that as we kind of move forward. Okay, so as we get back into the chart, let me see if I can make it through this video without losing my voice here. That was our sell opportunity. And so this sell opportunity would have looked something like this, where we are going to look for entry here, but now we're selling. And again, the 50% would be our stop loss because we can see the previous wicks over here. And our goal was just to take it back down to the next zone. Okay. And then again, we talked about, and I'm going to go all the way down here. We had talked about in our trading app when I gave you the information that if we did have price close below this zone, then we would target the next lower level of about 74. Well, this was such an impulsive candle. Even if we drove back down to the 15-minute chart, we never really got that retest. So for the most part, most of us, including myself, we missed that second entry from here unless you stayed with this original entry opened from the top here, which was a massive, massive sell of over 200 pips. And congratulations to those members in our trading app that stayed on that sell trade for the entire duration down. And then we can see price kind of came down to this lower level. And that's kind of where we closed at with regards to crude oil. Okay. So as we look at this analysis here, just a reminder that I'm going to be doing the exact same thing here, giving you where are the best places to enter a trade based on the current crude oil analysis that I'm about to do now. And as usual, we're going to start on the higher time frames, and then we're going to move all the way further down. Now, I did want to show you some information here, and let me kind of go here real quick and kind of take a look at this. So again, we've got to be careful with the headlines. Okay, so we've got this just came out here that oil prices could reach $100 a barrel. But again, in 2024, we know there's a lot of stuff going on with OPEC, and they definitely want to bring prices higher. So they're looking to continue to cut the barrels per day. We also have here, again, some of the headlines from Thursday and Friday where oil falls over 2% after OPEC and cuts fall short of expectations. So, again, there's going to be a lot of talk about crude oil. Remember, our main focus is we're going to trade what we see and not what we believe. And that's what we are going to do now as we kind of jump into our crude oil analysis video. So, we are going to kind of start from here. And what I like to do all the time is I'm going to go ahead and remove all these indicators. We're going to kind of start at our weekly analysis. Let me get rid of the replay function. Okay. And we are going to start here. Now, again, you can see here as we kind of drive back down into our weekly analysis, right? We can definitely see here that we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, now 6 weeks of drop. Okay, we've been dropping on crude oil pretty substantially over the past month and a half. And so I think that is why obviously some of the big players want to continue cutting oil because they want to bring and drive the prices up. Now, we've talked about this recently, right? I do believe we're still going to target 72, and I'm going to show you the rationalization to that here in just a minute, as we kind of go down with regards to that analysis. Now, if you're brand new here, hey, we want to give you some massive value. You can definitely support this video by hitting the like button, and you can also subscribe if you are brand new as well. And lastly, is if you have not had a chance to do so, what you may want to do is check out our brand new trading app. It's a trading community. You can scan the QR code on your screen. I will also leave the link in the video description area. We're going to focus in on not just crude oil, but other pairs as well. But you're going to get trade signals, trade alerts. Free coaching will come with your annual or monthly plan as well. We have an entire chat zone, which is really what makes this app so amazing. It's instant notifications, an entire community sharing, hey, I'm getting in here, I'm getting in there, sharing charts, and that's powerful. And in 2024, if you are on the annual or monthly plan, you will get access to every course that I drop inside the app absolutely for free. And guess what? Your price will also lock in because we will have a price increase on December 15th. Okay. So let's go ahead and jump right back into our analysis here. Now, if we take a Fibonacci level and we go from this low up to this high here, we can see here now that we've crossed this 61.8. Now, to me, this level right here is almost inevitable. The 88.6, which again is going to put us down into the upper 70s mark. Okay, I think we are going to take out this wick that's right here on the weekly level. And if we take a look at that wick right here, and I did get a request to share pricing because sometimes they can't see it on their chart. Okay, that green line there is 72.30 on Trading View. So I think we're definitely going to come down to retest that wick again on the weekly chart. So again, I've been talking about we are going to hit 72 over the last 3 to 4 Sunday crude oil analysis daily videos. So again, I believe we are going to come right back down to there because we can see heavy selling pressure, okay, from these weekly charts over the last 3 weeks. We have not been able to close above this $78 mark. Okay, we've gone above it several times, but we cannot close. And that really is the key word there, that we have been unable to close that mark. Okay, so that's going to be super, super important to remember as we kind of move forward. Okay, so definitely want to keep an eye on that. And now we're going to kind of break down the other charts with regards to walking it down and taking a look now at our daily time frame. Now, again, we're not going to change the Fibonacci levels because the real money is being moved at the higher time frames. Now, we're going to have some fib levels within fib levels, but this is a very, very strong fib level based on the weekly analysis uh, that we just did right here. So now, as we look at the daily, again, we can see that wick right here. And this is what we kind of begin to craft some intraday possibilities when it comes to crude oil. Okay. So if we grab a Fibonacci level and we now go from where that price took off to where price wicked on this daily, again, another stronger confirmation that we have closed below the 61.8, okay, in this direction. But keep in mind right here, a lot of traders will miss this. We have a wick and then we had a retracement. We had a wick and we had a retracement. We close now right by where the previous 2 wicks came. So again, does that mean we're going to automatically come all the way down? We may or we may not. We may see another retracement up and then price continue to fall. But understand that we've been here now on 2 other occasions over the last week or so, and we did reject and then move up. So again, keep an eye on that as we begin to look at price action as we walk down the different time frames as well. Okay. Now, hey, listen. That being said, I love to kind of find out where you are watching from. So if you get a chance at some point during this video, go down into the comments, say hello, and tell us where you are watching from. Welcome to all of our members who are watching from India, from Germany, from Great Britain, from the United States, obviously. We love to have you here on this channel. So go down there, say hello, and let us know where you are watching from. So again, we've got to really look at this area right here. And as we drop to the 8 hour, okay, again, we do see this same analysis here. Now, the interesting part about the 8 hour is that if we kind of draw this line here across, right, we have not closed below that level, and that's 73.83. So I think this is going to be our determining factor right here. Okay, right here. We are going to have a candle on the 1 hour to close below here if we obviously are going to drop down into our 72 level. Okay, if we get a candle to close below that 73.88 area, then we are going to drop into the 70s at some point. Okay, because again, if we look here, we have not been able to do that over the course of the last week and a half, right? We've kind of come to this orange line and then we've bounced up in that direction. Okay. So that's something that we have to, again, consider as we move down the different price points to give you a heads up and an advantage when it comes to deciding what your trading plan is going to be. Okay. So, if we kind of step out here and on the 8 hour, we kind of take a look, all right, we can clearly see, right, that we are still, right, in a very bearish mode, right? We will not change the trajectory of crude oil, in my opinion, again, okay, until, at least in the meantime, until we close above this 88, or I'm sorry, this $80 mark. Okay. Once we close above the $80 mark, then we are now possibly starting a new trend back up. But until then, we are still bearish when it comes to crude oil. Okay. Here is our view from our 4-hour chart. Okay. So you can kind of see here, and I'm going to kind of bring this in a little bit closer now, where that was that rejection that we saw. Okay. And we can see right over here how we had that before here, and we also had that before here. So again, this is going to be such a critical point right here to really focus in on this price point. And I'm actually going to mark it with a horizontal full line so folks at home can see. And you can see the green over here. That is 73.87. We would have to close below 73.87 if we are going to begin to target these lows down here, which is about 72.24 again. Okay. For me personally, like, hey, I would love that we bring crude oil all the way down into $70 because that would be a huge, heavier buying area at 70. But until then, we are going to trade what we see and not what we think. Okay. But again, understand that we really should be selling the retracements up. Buying this market right now is going to be a little bit trickier. You can definitely buy off the zones with a good plan. And I'm going to be sharing that plan with you in just a minute. So if you stick around a few more minutes, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of walk down to the 15-minute chart and I'm going to give you how to enter a trade. What does that look like? Right. One of our trading app members talked about, hey, can you show that in the video? And so I'm going to honor that request. I'm going to just show a couple of examples, what that stop loss, what that entry would look like. Because if you are in a platform that you can trade on both sides, meaning you can enter buys and sells, right? Hedging might become a possibility for you. Or let's say you enter a buy and that goes against you, you quickly close the buy, take a few points loss, but then you quickly get into the sell. So I'm going to be doing that for you here in this video in just a few minutes. So as we kind of look at this 4-hour chart, now we look at it from the 1 hour. And here is where things begin to get a little interesting. Because if we look at these areas that we've marked from before, I'm going to kind of bring it in a little bit, right? When we came to this level, here is the reaction. We had movement come up. Okay. When we came to this level, we had movement come up. Now we're at this level again. Okay. Does this mean that we're automatically going to move up? Well, we are going to have a gap situation possibly, right? But here's the difference of this level versus these two levels. This huge red impulsive candle right here, right? Large money was introduced there. Okay. And if you take a look at here, the last time we had one of these huge, long, bearish candles, we did what typically happens when it comes to those large candles. It's impulse, it's a little bit of a retracement, and then it's continuation in the same direction. Okay. And that's kind of what happened here: impulse, retracement, continuation. So now that we're seeing that, we have to keep that in mind that if we do get a retracement up, we should be looking to sell those retracements at these key levels. Okay. So what I want to start doing is looking at this from now a 1 hour perspective. So if we draw a fib level from where this price just completely dropped to where we are now, assuming this is the low, right? Then for me, I'm looking for that retracement to come back up to this perfectly set area, which is a Fibonacci level at a higher time frame to give us that retracement up and then that movement right back down to these lower levels. Okay. So this area of 7,600, okay, is going to be very, very important if we're going to see another situation just like this. So what I want you to do, I want you to look at this, how this played out right here. And I'm going to change that color to something shocking. Okay. I want you to take a look at that. We might see, and I'm going to move this a little bit because it's covering the large candle. We might see this same scenario, but now we see it over here. Okay. So remember, inside the market, it likes to repeat a lot of the same movements, especially in the same areas. So that's what we should be looking for here Again, buying from this lower level is going to be a lot trickier because we can just dump one more time. So, but if we do get this retracement up, right, this would be a nice next sell zone based on the tide and the overall direction of the market when it comes to crude oil. So we need to keep an eye on that as we kind of move forward. And I'm still going to drop down, a little bit more as we move down. So if this is making sense to you so far, if this is beginning to say, I'm getting it right. I'm watching these videos the professor's putting out. I'm beginning to understand a little bit deeper. Definitely go down to the below in the comments and let me know that you're getting it right. We're walking these analysis down on these Sunday market daily videos. I take a little bit longer because I want to give you the full perspective, right? I don't want to just give you a 2-minute chart and then you're lost. I think this way helps people understand the market. And that's what I'm about, helping you succeed. That's all we focus on. So I incorporate education, and everybody wants to make money. And that's the great part. But part of making that money long term, as long as I have been doing it, is understanding the market. Because just getting buy or sell, now understanding why, you're cheating yourself, right? So I don't want to cheat you. I want to give you as much as I can. And this is the kind of stuff that we do inside of our trading app as well. So I hope to see you in there as well for all the other pairs as we break it down, including trading psychology and everything else. So this is kind of what we're looking for. So now when we drop down to the 15-minute chart, right? Here's that zone, right? Take a look at the circle area, right? We are beginning to see that movement on a smaller time frame. So we have to understand first that price closed here. So this is also going to be our gap, right? So we're going to mark out of this gap where price closed on Friday. So again, but we are beginning to see that price action, at least from Friday, beginning to creep up. And this is what we want. I personally would not take a buy from here because the market can just turn around and tank, right? But if you are looking to take this sell up in this area, this is what it would look like for someone, right? Entering in this yellow box, and I'm just going to put it right in the middle, understanding that your stop loss has to be above this 100, okay, because that was the last major wick area that we had right here. And I always add a few points because of your spread. And the goal is that maybe we can take it all the way back down to what we're talking about. Now, does this mean that you have to leave it open during the entire green section, which is almost a 5-to-1 risk to reward? No. Remember that we follow our rules, and our rules are 20 points or pips, whatever you call them. Then you cash out or protect, right? Because I'm helping people build accounts, right? You're not going to build an account overnight if you're not taking profits and you're always looking for the home run, and then your trade ends up coming back at break even. So 20 points, 20 pips, cash out or protect. Okay. But breaking even does not pay the bills, right? Cashing out, looking for another retracement, getting back in, cashing out little by little. Now, if you want to stay in a long trade, you can, but you've got to be able to manage your trade along the way. And that's one of the biggest problems that some folks are having is you're working, you're busy, you don't have the right plan, you don't set up alerts, and then you let a 40-point gain turn all the way around and you lose that trade because you weren't paying attention or you were busy with your kids. I get it, right? So you've got to decide in how you're going to manage your trade. The easiest way is 20 and cash out, 20 and cash out, 20 and cash out, because managing your trade becomes harder because you have to understand what you're doing. You got to set up your alerts. Then you got to get to your phone on time because crude oil moves very, very quickly. So just a suggestion, especially for you newer traders, or even if you're trading on futures, kind of the same thing, right? I'm going to be going back to some futures trading in 2024. But when I was trading futures last year, same thing, right? I had to set my parameters inside of my platform, which was Thinkorswim, to be able to protect my trade. And what's nice about the Thinkorswim platform is that you can actually set it to trail your trade. So you don't have to do anything. And that is one of the advantages of trading inside the futures market, especially with a platform like Thinkorswim. So this is the only setup I would be looking for here. Now, again, if we do have this scenario that we do close, I know that's a pretty big candle, right? Now, this scenario here would change a little bit differently because here, this sell would maybe look something like this. If you're getting in at the break, right, you're going to want to go back up to the 38. But here, our goal is that we can take this right back down to this next level. Okay. So that would be the sell scenario if we get this candle close situation right here that we talked about earlier. Okay. Right now, I am just not looking at any buying opportunity until we get down to this section because, again, I do believe if we come down this lower, we are going to take out these wicks and we might actually end up in the 7,100 area, okay, down in here. And so I would love to buy down here. So for right now, as you've heard me say over and over the last couple of crude oil videos, I am strictly a seller when it comes to crude oil. I don't have evidence yet to buy. You know, do I get in and maybe scalp some buys? I just want to let you know that the scalping the buys right now could be a little bit tricky. Okay, you have to be able to watch it. If you're not going to watch it, then just like anything else, don't trade the buys. Wait for these sell opportunities, especially with the gap that might happen on Sunday. So we have to kind of find out when the market opens where we are going to be at and how we are going to trade it. So that is your overall blueprint when it comes to crude oil right now. I am purposely not giving you any buying opportunities because I don't see them right now. This here, when we see this retracement, has already begun. So I would not want you to jump in now and do that. Okay. That would not be good. Now, again, if you are, inside of our trading app, then of course I will be updating you in the chat zone, in the trade alert section, as well as we go out throughout the week. And if I see something, I'm going to let you know so you can jump in on crude oil and all the other charts as well. Okay. So I hope you got some value on today's video. If you did, you can definitely hit that like button. Again, if you're brand new, subscribe, yada, 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 and all that good stuff. And here's probably the most important thing, right? Do you have your notifications turned on? Some folks that were emailing me saying they were not receiving my YouTube videos. And it wasn't because of YouTube, it was because you forgot to turn on your notifications. So the best thing you can do is go into your YouTube account and where it says notifications, click all so you get access to all of my videos. And again, I'm not going to really be doing shorts content on here, but you don't miss any video that we definitely pump out. And if you want to see previous videos, go down into any of the playlists below. I'm actually leaving the members' previous videos open to the public so you can see some of the massive value that we are providing our members. And again, a pretty cool thing about the app as well is that we could do live analysis inside of the trading app, which will be coming up. So we won't need external links or YouTube. I will be doing analysis inside the app. So I'll be going live in the app so you will get access to it no matter where you are in the world, on a phone, on a laptop, on a desktop, on a iPad, on a Kindle. Doesn't matter. If you have, a feed, you're going to be able to get it as well. All right. Thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate you. I am now going to get back on the couch and keep drinking some lemon with honey because I'm surprised my voice lasted this long. But when you love what you do, you find the energy to carry it out. Remember, be kind, do something kind for someone this weekend or this week. It could be something as small as saying hello, smiling, buying someone a cup of coffee, even if they're a stranger, pay it forward. And that's the way that we can begin to be kinder to each other in this crazy, crazy world that we live in. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.